In Haiti, workers take to the streets to demand higher salaries and better working conditions in the country. In the United States, gun violence continues rampant. Over 200 mass shootings have been registered so far in 2023. And in Saudi Arabia, talks between Sudan's warring generals yield no major progress so far, dampening hopes for a quick end to the fighting that has killed hundreds and sent tens of thousands fleeing. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Haiti, hundreds of textile workers protest in the capital, Port-au-Prince, to demand better working conditions and against the Prime Minister, Ariel Henry. According to local media, demonstrators went through the streets of the capital city demanding an increase in the daily minimum wage and social support to face the serious socio-economic and political crisis facing the Caribbean island. The unionists also denounced that the prices of basic needs are increasing every day, the cost of transportation has tripled, and several businesses have closed due to insecurity. The mobilization is currently traveling along the road from Delmas to the official residence of the Haitian Prime Minister to demand better working conditions. In the United States, the number of mass shootings has risen to more than 200 following the deadly toll left by gun violence in recent days, including a massacre in Dallas, Texas. The non-profit Gun Violence Archive reported at least 202 incidents this year, in which 4 or more people, in addition to the attacker, have been shot. The organization reported 3 incidents last Saturday, including one at the market in Allen, Texas, where a gunman killed 8 people and injured 7 others before being fatally shot by police. The Gun Violence Archive also noted that over the course of this year, some 6,358 people have already lost their lives due to mass shootings. On Monday, the U.S. jury heard closing arguments in a civil lawsuit accusing former President Donald Trump of alleged sexual assault and defamation. Trump's attorney, Joseph Tacopina, urged jurors to set aside any opinion they might have about the tycoon and reject what he called Carroll's effort to profit from a false story. According to press reports, the lawsuit filed April 25th against the former president is in response to a lawsuit by former columnist Elizabeth Young Carroll, who claimed she was raped by Trump in the fitting room of an upscale Manhattan department store in the spring of 1996. Trump has accused Carroll of making up the story to boost sales of her 2019 memoir, in which she made her claims public. In any case, the process, which would not land him in jail, is part of the multiple legal entanglements that the leading candidate for the Republican nomination for the elections of 2024 is going through. In Canada, authorities report that the Valley View wildfire reduced the country's energy production by at least 2%. Canada's main oil-producing province, Alberta, declared a provincial state of emergency due to the wildfires, shutting in at least 185,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day. Canadian natural gas exports to the United States fell to 6.7 billion cubic feet per day, the lowest since April 2021. Most of the reductions were on pipes from Canada to the U.S. Midwest. In this context, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith announced financial aid for wildfire evacuees.
Who's been evacuated and displaced for 7 consecutive days will receive $1,250, along with an additional $500 for each dependent child under age 18. This means that an evacuated family of 4 will receive $3,500 to help get through these dark days and to meet their immediate needs. These payments will help evacuees pay for accommodations, food, and other basic necessities. Evacuees can apply online using a verified alberta.ca account. Payments will be provided through e-transfer once your eligibility is confirmed, and that process can take as little as 24 hours. This is the most efficient way to receive your evacuation payment and to get it as quickly as possible.
Forest fires fanned by strong winds in 3 Russian regions killed at least 1 person amid a heatwave linked to climate change. According to local authorities, a 49-year-old man died while trying to put out a fire near the village of Krasny Yar in the region of western Siberia. The region's governor, Alexander Moore, said on Sunday that a state of emergency had been declared across the entire area. On the other hand, that state news agency reported 12 active forest fires on Monday morning in Tyumen, covering more than 1,100 hectares. In recent years, Russia's forest fires have been starting earlier and earlier in the face of rising temperatures. According to officials, the fires are primarily set off by people barbecuing in the woods or countryside or during spring clearing operation. In China, authorities evacuated over 14,000 people in Jiangxi province in the last 24 hours due to heavy rains that have hit the region. The flood and drought control headquarters reported that over 500,000 people in Jiangxi province were affected by the rains that occurred from Friday to Sunday. Experts say southern China is facing severe flooding this year due to uneven rainfall distribution in the country. Government authorities are currently working to prevent disasters in the area and are identifying vulnerable spots and alerting people living near the affected area. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news updates, and much more. Other stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the South. On Monday, French President Emmanuel Macron commemorated the end of World War II on the Champs-Élysées after the establishment of a large security perimeter to prevent the opposition from demonstrating. Macron paid his respects at the tomb of the unknown soldier before rekindling the flame, as is tradition. The French head of state then went to Lyon, where the opposition called for demonstrations near the Montluc prison memorial, where Jean Moulin and other resistance figures were detained. Jean Moulin was the first head of the resistance against fascism in France. And thousands of people demonstrated in Lyon against the government's pension reform and in tribute to the resistance fighters of the Second World War on the sidelines of a visit by French President Emmanuel Macron to the Montluc prison memorial.
Each time there is a demonstration, we have to remind people who Ambroise Croissant or Jean Moulin were, because all the governments have tried to erase our history, which belongs to the workers, and this is not normal.
There are several reasons. First, my complete opposition to the pension reform, and then, according to me, a violation of the memory of the resistance fighters, as Macron's policy goes against what these people fought for and died for. So the fact that he comes here on this day to commemorate their death, it's just a shame for our country, for democracy, and for the French people.
Tens of thousands of Serbians rioted in Belgrade against violence on Monday after two separate mass shootings occurred in the country days before. Crowds marched through the city center behind a banner that read Serbia against violence. The protesters demanded the shutdown of TV stations and tabloids they accused of promoting violent and vulgar content, a ban on pro-government newspaper that regularly stoked tension with articles targeting political dissidents, and the resignation within a week of Interior Minister Bratislav Gašić and the Director of the State Security Agency Alexander Vulin, as well as the dismissal of the government's regulatory authority for electronic media. The protests occurred after a schoolboy killed 8 pupils and 1 security guard and injured 6 others last Wednesday, and a 21-year-old man killed another 8 people and wounded 14 in central Serbia the following evening. On Monday, Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu declared that Ankara has no plans to support Western economic restrictions against Russia. Turkey's top diplomat made the comments during an interview to the Leader Haber TV channel in the run-up to the country's presidential and parliamentary elections to take place on Sunday. The official also criticized opposition presidential candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, who has shown his interest in prioritizing links with the West. Ankara is one of Moscow's main trading partners, with both sides having pledged to deepen economic cooperation and expand bilateral trade. Data shows that around this time last year, Turkey became one of the top 5 exporters to Russia. In 2021, it ranked 11th ahead of the US, France, Japan, Poland, and Italy. Russian authorities guaranteed possible measures for security at the victory parade on May 9th, presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov announced on Monday. The spokesman noted that the nature of Ukraine's terrorist activities requires attention of the security authorities, and also confirms once again the correctness of President Vladimir Putin's decision to launch a special military operation. Peskov confirmed that the leaders of the Commonwealth of Independent States countries will be present as guests at the parade, referring to Armenia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Kazakhstan. The spokesman emphasized the special significance of Victory Day for all those who were involved in the victory over fascism. He stated that there is no right to forget May 9th as a sacred day for all states that were once part of the Soviet Union and that sacrificed so many lives of their citizens to liberate the world from fascism. In the same context, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan arrived in Moscow ahead of Victory Day. Russia celebrates Victory Day every May 9th to commemorate the triumph over Nazi Germany. It is the country's most important national holiday. This year's celebrations at the Red Square are held amid particularly tight security after a series of drone attacks, including on the Kremlin, the symbolic heart of the Russian state. The date commemorates the Red Army's relentless offensive that pushed German forces from Stalingrad to Berlin. The Soviet Union lost at least 20 million people in the war, losses that ultimately brought about the German defeat. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has suspended operation of its units to avoid provocations by the armed forces of Ukraine. Acting local governor Yevgeny Balitsky noted that the Ukrainian forces started pouring water from the dams and the water level in the Kakhovka reservoir rose to 17.08 meters. The acting governor also said that following an increase of Ukrainian bombing in the region, residents of 18 localities in the province, including the town of Energodar, where the nuclear power plant is located, were temporarily relocated to ensure their safety. Plant director Yuri Chernykchuk reported that operation of all units had been suspended and that plant staff are doing everything necessary to ensure nuclear safety. teleSUR English continues to grow. You can now tune in from 33 different African countries through StarSat, dial 461 and enjoy our Latin American alternative broadcast. One final short break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back from the south. Ceasefire talks in Saudi Arabia between Sudan's warring generals have yielded no major progress, dampening hopes for a quick end to the fighting. According to the Saudi Foreign Ministry, Sudan's Army Chief Abdel Fattah Burhan and his deputy-turned rival Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who heads the paramilitary rapid support forces, sent representatives to the Red Sea coastal city of Jeddah on Saturday for meetings that Washington and Riyadh have described as pre-negotiation talks. The ministry statement said the goals include reaching an effective short-term halt to the fighting, facilitating aid delivery, restoring basic services, and setting a timetable for expanded negotiations to reach a permanent cessation of hostilities. The note added that the two sides have begun to discuss the security measures they should take in order to facilitate the delivery of urgent humanitarian aid and the restoration of essential services. Southern African countries agreed to send troops to the east of the Democratic Republic of the Congo to address rising violence in the region. This initiative aims to confront the armed groups that have been terrorizing the civilian population for decades. The decision was taken in talks involving several heads of states, including the President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, his South African counterpart, Cyril Ramaphosa, and ministers from the 16 member states of the Union. It is also noted that the conference participants did not indicate the number of troops to be sent to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, nor a timetable for their deployment. There are numerous rebel and guerrilla groups operating in the east of the country. Some of them are local, others are made up of paramilitary from neighboring countries. On Monday, China welcomed the return of Syria to the Arab League and described the decision as a step forward for peace and stability in the Middle East.
China welcomes and congratulates Syria on its return to the Arab League. We believe that Syria's return to the Arab League will help Arab countries strengthen their unity and self-improvement, help accelerate the development and rejuvenation of the Arab world, and promote peace and stability in the Middle East, which is the long-term interest of Arab countries. China has always supported the unity and self-improvement of Arab countries and actively supported Syria's return to the Arab League. China is actively working with relevant parties through its own channels.
Syria regained its seat in the League of Arab States after 12 years of suspension, a diplomatic achievement that Syrians believe marks the beginning of a new stage of openness and constructive regional integration. Our correspondent Hisham Wanos with the details.
Foreign ministers of the 22 member states of the Arab League voted during an extraordinary meeting on Sunday, May 7th in Cairo, the Egyptian capital, in favor of the return of Damascus to this Arab body. The foreign ministers ratified the commitment to safeguard the sovereignty, territorial integrity and stability of Syria. The high-level officials agreed to form a ministerial contact committee comprising Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Lebanon, Egypt and the Secretary General of the Arab League to continue direct dialogue with the Syrian government in order to reach a comprehensive solution to the crisis in a gradual manner, all in accordance with the step-by-step principle and in line with UN Security Council Resolution number 2254.
Thanks to Syria's steadfastness as a people, its leadership and army, it has been possible to prove the truth of our version of events and that we are right. And that is why this decision has been taken to return Syria to the Arab League after the majority of the Arab countries recognized that they had adopted a wrong stance towards Syria and reconsidered their conceptions and ideas towards our country.
We commend the stance of the Arab countries that pushed for this initiative, which led to the rest of our brothers in the Arab states coming to their senses and deciding on Syria's return to the Arab League. And we are confident that Syria will once again play its prominent role in pushing for joint Arab action and will do so with much more strength and much more adherence to its national positions and principles.
This decision follows a series of significant steps towards the normalization of relations with Syria after 12 years of differences and sanctions, including the meeting in Jeddah on April 14th and in Amman on May 1st, as well as numerous visits to Damascus by government, parliamentary and Arab delegations. According to experts, Syria's return to the Arab body reflects the decline of U.S. influence in the region and indicates a growing willingness among its traditional allies to forge their own political path and build stronger strategic relationships with Washington's rivals.
It is true that this decision serves the interests of Syria and the Syrian people, but at the same time the Arab states took it for the benefit of their own interests, which are currently contrary to the interests of the United States and the Israeli occupation regime, which is why we believe without a doubt that this step constitutes a clear defeat for the United States policy in this region, since it benefits all Arab countries and favors the stability, security and well-being of their peoples.
Damascus and its allies and friends such as Russia, China, Iran and Venezuela, contrary to the position of the United States, welcome the decision of the Arab League as a vital step to strengthen joint Arab action in the face of the current challenges facing the Arab countries, a move that the Syrian people also welcomed, full of faith that it will contribute to putting an end to their suffering that has lasted for more than 12 years.
Hisham Wanos, teleSUR, Damascus, Syria.
We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For teleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.